I mean, obviously, I know you guys are focused on Grand Rapids, but just in terms of winning that series with against Milwaukee, what did that do for this group?
Oh, it was huge. It was huge. When's 2018? Is that the number? The last time the Moose won a playoff series, and our rivalry with Milwaukee stretches along that time as well. So yeah, we feel good after that one. Just chatting around the room too, a lot of guys, it's their first playoff series win, myself included. Some veterans on the team, or maybe only one or two. Like it's a hard league to win playoff series in, and to get that first one under the belt for this group feels good.
In terms of having some time in between the series, I mean, Mark was saying you guys played 19 games in 37 days. So to get some time to heal up and rest, what does that mean for this group? Yeah,
it's huge. That was a war of a series. I mean, we were all watching, but that was, that's a heavy, hard fought series, and it's kind of, it's funny that it was only 3 games. It feels like it went a lot longer than that for us, but in those kind of games, in those series, everybody's going to have something going on, and for both squads. So having these 5 days kind of heal up and then get a couple good hard skates in, get our legs back under us, we like the way that shapes out.
Tyrel, before Game 1 against Milwaukee, you said that was going to be the best day of the year. So for Saturday against Grand Rapids, second best day of the year, or now because the playoffs are under your feet, is it just a matter of every day is exciting?
Yeah, it just keeps getting better. I think that's the answer there. You just want to keep snowballing. That was a lot of fun. I think to feel, for our group and certain players, to feel that energy after, winning that game 2, the feeling going into it, 1-1 going into a third period where your back's up against the wall, will get you shaking a little bit, at times. So getting that win and that feeling in the room and that energy was a spark for our group, I think, too. To know what it feels like to win a tight game that means something. And then we were able to come out and do it again in another close game, in another hard-fought game. We like that momentum. We want to keep rolling, and you said it best, it just keeps getting better.
How much does it say you individually have progressed when your coach says, hey, we know what Tyrel's, one of his jobs are with this team, but we simply cannot afford to have him off the ice for 5 minutes at a stretch. What does that do for you in terms of where you eventually want to take your career?
Yeah, you want to progress is what you want to do. You want to grow as a player. You want to learn. That's been my goal from day one. I don't think I'm out of pocket by saying that's everybody's goal. At any level, you want to get better. You want to learn. You want to grow. This is my 4th year in the league. I've tried to do that. It's been up and down as it is. For a lot of players. In terms of that side of the game, it's something I bring. It's also, who I am to a certain degree. So, there's learning involved in that as well, and going through that process.
So from that perspective, Tyrel, it doesn't look like you changed your game at all, but because fighting, if it doesn't disappear in the playoffs, it's a rarity for sure. Is there much of an adjustment on how you approach the game mentally for the playoffs compared to the regular season then from that perspective?
Naturally, yes. Naturally, you watch the NHL, you watch this league, like playoffs go up a notch in intensity. A little more physical at times, maybe a little simpler of a game. Games that mean so much in do-or-die games or pivotal series-changing games. Special teams are huge, and you don't want to be the guy taking a penalty, and you don't want to be the guy making your team play short-staffed. So. Is it a rarity? Yes. Does the approach change naturally in terms of my game? You just crank up the intensity. Nothing changes. I make the joke. I've been doing the same thing since I was 6 years old. Never tried to be something different. And I enjoy what I do. I take a lot of pride in what I do. So I want to be there for my teammates, and I want to show that this is our building, our barn, and it's a hard building to play in.
Tyrel, in terms of your growth and development, I imagine it doesn't hurt when you hear the GM of the Jets publicly say that this is a guy we'd like to get up at the end of the year. And I know it didn't work out. You had a bit of an injury, I think, down the stretch, right? And maybe the Jets didn't use the call-ups the way they envisioned because they were still right in the race to the very end there. But when you hear the GM of the NHL team say, we've got our eyes on this guy and we think he deserves a look at the NHL, what did that do for your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to hear. It's everybody's dream to play in the NHL. You watch guys go up. You watch the guys that went up this year. Sal, Millie, Dom, Yager, Chibi, Lambeau, Philly. It's exciting to see these guys go up and get to play in the best league in the world.
Yeah.
So, in terms of me, I just still focus on the day-to-day. It's every day. Like I said, I know it's repetitive, but learn, grow every day, no matter what league you're in. I wanted to help my team here win hockey games and prepare for the playoffs. That was my focus every day.
You mentioned Sal, and Mark Morrison just told us that unfortunately Sal Monson's going to be out for the duration of the playoffs. Obviously, you hate to see a teammate get hurt and go down, and there's great value that he brings to the team. So maybe just your thoughts on his injury and what you guys collectively as a group have to do to kind of step up without him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big loss. I mean, you know what Sal brings to us. You saw what he brought at the next level. He's a great player and a great human being that helps us win a lot of hockey games. So that being said, it's next man up. We're collectively as a group, we're going to battle. We're going to play the same way. We have our game plan, and we got a lot of depth in that room, and we're really happy with where we are right now, and we're looking to keep that moving forward.
And last one for me, but on that depth, you get a guy like Garrett Brown, fresh off winning a national championship in college, just starting out his pro career, and obviously there's excitement when you have a young player that gets an opportunity, and I guess that can almost become infectious, and you got a lot of guys in that similar boat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, college guys, eh? No,
Their fancy educations.
we go back and forth all the time. It's a running joke. He'd laugh if he heard this. But no, it's what an exciting time for guys. I didn't come up at the end of the year when I first played in the American Hockey League, but I remember that feeling, being around the team and stepping in and playing my first games. It's pretty special. So to have those guys come in and fit in and be a part of the team and, really get to see what they bring on and off the ice, I think that's huge too, how guys fit into the culture. And it's special for him. It's special for the rest of the guys that got the opportunity to do the same thing, and we're looking to support them all the way.
Just one final one from me, Tyrel, and that is in terms of what you just went through against Milwaukee and what you anticipate against Grand Rapids, in your opinion, will this next series look a little different from what we saw in round one?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. You're gonna know, probably the first shift of that game, right? Like it's gonna play out before us live. What they're gonna do, I mean, we know what they're gonna do. We're worried about us. We're gonna defend. We're gonna play hard. We're gonna make this building a difficult building to play in, like we did the last series, and go from there. Where we feel good, we feel ready, and we're gonna rise up to this challenge.